James does not feel rich. He drives a 6-year-old car, packs his lunch most days, and lives in an apartment that is comfortable but not impressive. His colleagues assume he is doing fine. Not great, just fine. What his colleagues do not know is that James has been quietly building something for the past 4 years. His retirement account is growing on autopilot. His credit card balance is 0. His savings rate has climbed every year, while his lifestyle has stayed roughly the same. He is not rich yet, but he is on a trajectory that, if maintained, will make him genuinely wealthy in a way that most people around him will never achieve. The strange thing about building wealth is that it rarely feels like what people expect. There is no dramatic turning point, no single moment where everything clicks. It is a slow accumulation of behaviors and mindset shifts that eventually compound into something real. And most of the signs that it is happening are invisible from the outside. Here are 9 of those signs. Sign 1. You think in years and decades, not weeks. The most reliable early indicator of long-term financial success is the shift from short-term thinking to long-term thinking, not as a discipline you impose on yourself, but as a natural orientation that starts shaping how you evaluate every decision. When James considers a purchase now, his mental time frame has changed. He doesn't just ask whether he wants the thing. He asks what the opportunity cost is across 5 or 10 years. He waits longer before buying. He researches more thoroughly. Sometimes he concludes he doesn't actually want the thing at all. The desire was a momentary feeling, not a considered preference. This is not deprivation. It is the development of a longer financial attention span, and it compounds. Sign 2. Your income grew, but your lifestyle barely moved. Most people experience income increases as permission to spend more. The raise arrives, the lifestyle upgrades follow within months, and the savings rate stays approximately flat. This is the pattern that keeps high earners financially stuck despite impressive salaries. If your income has grown over the past few years and your lifestyle has not expanded proportionally, if the gap between what you earn and what you spend is wider now than it was before, you are doing one of the most important things in personal finance. You are letting the surplus accumulate rather than consuming it immediately. That widening gap is the raw material of everything that follows. Sign 3. You have no consumer debt on depreciating assets. Financing things that lose value is one of the clearest ways to watch money disappear without any lasting benefit. A car that costs $700 monthly in loan payments is committing a significant annual sum to an asset that is worth less with every passing month. That money, redirected to investment, compounds into something real over a decade. James paid off his car 3 years ago and hasn't taken another loan since. He drives a paid-off vehicle that gets him where he needs to go. The $700 monthly that a new car payment would have consumed is going elsewhere. This is a concrete, ongoing financial advantage that appears nowhere on any status signal, but shows up clearly in net worth. Sign 4. You consistently spend less than you earn. This sounds like the minimum bar, but research consistently shows that a large percentage of households with above-average incomes fail to clear it reliably. Spending less than you earn, month after month, year after year, regardless of what income does, is the foundational behavior of wealth accumulation. Everything else builds on top of it. If you can trace a pattern across the last 12 months where your expenses were consistently below your income and the difference went somewhere productive, savings, investments, debt elimination, you are doing the thing that actually produces long-term financial security. Sign 5. You have started valuing time over things. There is a specific mindset shift that tends to accompany genuine financial progress. Early in the journey, the goal is things, the car, the upgrade from seat, the visible markers of success. Later, the goal becomes time, the freedom to choose how hours are spent, the ability to say no to obligations that do not align with what actually matters. When James started thinking about whether a purchase was buying him time or costing him time, something shifted in how he evaluated his entire budget. The house cleaner he hired was not a luxury, it was 3 hours per week returned to him. The premium on the direct flight was not frivolous, it was 4 hours of his weekend preserved. This mental shift away from things and toward time is a reliable sign that financial thinking is maturing. Sign 6. You have stopped tracking what other people spend. Social comparison is among the most reliable engines of unnecessary spending. When what your neighbors drive, what your colleagues wear, and what your social circle does on weekends becomes the reference point for your own decisions, the floor of your spending rises continuously to match your environment. There is no ceiling on that dynamic. There is always someone spending more. James stopped tracking it. Not through discipline, it just stopped feeling relevant. He has a clear picture of what he is building and what that requires, and other people's consumption habits have no bearing on either. That indifference to external comparison is one of the quietest but most financially significant shifts that can happen. Sign 7. You talk about money less, but think about it more clearly. People who are insecure about their financial position often signal that insecurity through constant money talk, bragging about earnings, complaining about expenses, performing either success or struggle for an audience. People who are genuinely building wealth tend to grow quieter about it. This is not secrecy. It is the absence of an external validation. James does not mention his investment account balance in conversation because it is not a social credential. It is a tool he is using for his future. The number that occupies his attention is not his income, but his net worth, which he tracks monthly and which moves in the right direction without requiring commentary. Sign 8. Things that used to feel like sacrifice now feel normal. In the early stages of building better financial habits, almost every choice feels like giving something up. Bringing lunch to work instead of buying it feels like deprivation. Skipping the weekend trip that the group is going on feels like missing out. Redirecting the bonus to savings instead of spending it feels like delay. At some point, if the habits hold, that feeling fades. The packed lunch becomes automatic. The redirected bonus feels like progress rather than loss. The choice to stay in instead of spending money on things that would not have been memorable anyway starts to feel less like restraint and more like preference. When that shift happens, when the discipline becomes identity, the behavior becomes sustainable in a way it was not before. Sign 9. Market drops do not make you panic. This is the sign that separates people who intellectually understand long-term investing from people who have genuinely internalized it. When markets fall sharply and headlines turn alarming, the person who is quietly getting rich does not sell. They may even add to positions. They have studied enough history to know that every significant decline in the market's recorded history has been followed by recovery and new highs. The noise of a bad month is not information about the next decade. James watched his portfolio drop noticeably during a volatile stretch last year. He checked it once, confirmed his allocation still made sense, and did not look again for 6 weeks. He did not sell. He did not restructure. He trusted the process he had built and let it run. That trust, earned through understanding rather than assumed through optimism, is a genuine sign of financial maturity. None of these 9 signs require a high income. None of them show up on the surface in ways other people would notice. They are internal shifts, behavioral patterns, and compounding habits that quietly move the financial trajectory in a direction that eventually becomes impossible to ignore. James does not feel rich today, but he is building something real, and the signs, if he looked for them, are already there.